creatures of the night. It's your girl Tati. First of all, I want to say thank you for everybody who pulled up at the watch along earlier. We had such a great time. I had a special guest, Martina Speak Wrestling. She did an amazing job and we had so much fun. And we will be doing Collision again. So watch out for that. I appreciate everyone's support. It really, really warms my dark heart. Now, let's talk about Collision. Why did we need FTR to open the show talking for like 10 minutes about how they're not done with the Elite? In my opinion, they wasted our time. They wasted quality TV time to do something where it was like, okay, you're telling us you're not done with the Elite. How about the next time the Elite pop on the show? Why don't y'all just come out and whoop their ass because you're not done with them? Like, show us. Don't tell us. You're wasting TV time. I didn't care for this at all. Now, here we have a video from Jack Perry from last Sunday after the pay-per-view. He's in like the shower. He have his pants on, but the cameraman somehow, for whatever reason, followed him to the damn bathroom. And Jack Perry is rolling around on the ground, having a tantrum and all this. I'm just like, what is this? And he's like, he beat Bryan Danielson for the win. He's taking sacrifices, including getting his ass lit on fire and all these things and going through this whole anarchy in the arena thing. And that, he should be this top guy in AEW. Now, while he's saying this, they also do show the clip from Dynamite of Christopher Daniels, who's now the general manager, whatever the hell he is, and how they're having this new TNT tournament thing because Adam Copeland broke his leg. Now, what's interesting about this is that they're definitely showing that there's an interest of Jack Perry possibly winning the TNT title. And while I do feel like he's made some improvements since he's been back, I can honestly say I don't see him actually deserving the TNT title at this point. But we'll see what happens. Now, oh my gosh. Our opening match, Lio Rush, Roderick Strong. Holy moly. I just watched that match for the third time, by the way. So good. There was times during this match when I felt like, dude, is it like double the speed or something? Like the way that these guys were moving was just absolutely insane. And with the Undisputed Kingdom being ringside and being an absolute distraction and getting involved, you would think something like that would take away from the quality of the match, and it did not at all. Like what they were doing in the ring was still so good that even with the Kingdom being there, the match didn't take a hit in a bad way. And even Matt Taven putting on Lio Rush's little comforter jacket, like everything that they were doing, they were still being entertaining outside the ring, but also you were able to enjoy this match. The crowd was feeling it, okay? And I'll say this, they were really feeling it, but for the rest of the show, for the most part, they were dead quiet. Tony Khan, don't go to Palm Springs no more. No more. I couldn't believe how quiet they were from after the opening match and until the main event. It's crazy. Like the silence was killing me. But anyway, for this match though, they were making a lot of noise and they really were enjoying. The chemistry with Roderick and Lio was just so great. So much fun to watch. I want to see more of Lio. Now, obviously, our boy Roderick ends up taking the win here, and he has earned a spot to going against Swerve Strickland for the world title. Whoever it is that wins that on Dynamite is going against Will Ospreay. Come on, like we already know how this is gonna go. But after seeing what we just saw with him and Lio Rush, I'm just like, yo, they should never took that international title off of you. Like, you're still great in the ring. Can't wait to see what he does with Swerve on Dynamite next week. But hey, it's going to be interesting. I really enjoyed this. If you did not see this match, go see it. It's absolutely phenomenal. Man, Lio Rush, love to see more of you in AEW. So after this, we do have Kyle O'Reilly, who's basically saying, I ain't leaving Palm Springs without an international title. And we get a chance to see him going against Will Ospreay in the main event, which I'll go into in a little bit. After this is when we actually had Roderick Strong and the Undisputed Kingdom. So this was so weird. So this is where he goes and pretty much kind of demands his little shot with Swerve Strickland for the world title. What was strange is that we see Christopher Daniels, and then out of the blue, Tony Khan is right next to him, and I'm just like, wait a minute. Didn't you make Christopher Daniels the interim general manager, or whatever you did, because you weren't going to be there? Why are you here? Tony Khan, once again, with another raggedy suit and his hair. Somebody got to do something about that hair. And I'm just like, whoa, you're not giving billionaire vibes at all. I don't know what this whole thing is about. Like, what really is Christopher Daniels' role? If Tony Khan is still there, Tony Khan, go home. You're supposed to be having this guy pretend to be the CEO or whatever on TV, but you're still around. Go home, Tony Khan. They end up giving Roger that opportunity for him to go against Swerve Strickland, and it is what it is. That was a little bit weird to me. Now after this, we do have Daniel Garcia, Shibata, I love Shibata, versus the Workhorsemen in a really great tag team match. Man, Daniel Garcia, he is pretty much dressing like Shibata whenever they get in the ring together. And it's cute, I guess. And they do have great chemistry. Daniel Garcia does have a technical side to him, just like Shibata, who's also a technical wrestler. So they do work well. It'll take a little bit more time for us to truly see a chemistry between the two of them if they're going to continue to have them as a tag team. But the Workhorsemen, they've been tagging for years, so their chemistry is on point already. Holy moly, really great match here. And when JD Drake, who's a really big dude, gets on the top rope and go for a moonsault, that's when the whole crowd started to come alive. Like, I know this big ass dude is not about to do a moonsault. And that's just like, oh, y'all about to find out. Y'all know about JD. I know JD. He is amazing. He does things that big dudes don't normally do in the ring. Super agile type of guy. But despite showing the best out of the two of these guys, Anthony Henry and JD, they fall short. And, Shibata and Garcia ends up taking the win. And it's just like the Workhorsemen, they are workhorsemen, okay? They come out and they do the damn thing every single time. And I really would love to see them take some W's. They're an amazing team. Now, after this, we get Stokely and Chris Statlander. They're going through a thing of trash or whatever. And long story short, they're calling Willow Nightingale trash. And to be honest, I don't think anybody looks at Willow Nightingale as trash. So it's just, they come off so mean. They really do. Statlander, she says she's going to destroy the whole fucking roster and nobody better get in her way. And Stokely, I'm just going to say this now. You're getting friend zoned. She don't care about you. Up next, we have Thunder Rosa versus Reina Dorado. And this was a great match. A little short for me, especially when Tony Khan is doing this thing where there can only be one women's match on TV. You have all these hours of TV time, but one women's match per show? What? I'm mind blown. I just don't get it. I feel like they just didn't have enough time, and it's just not enough. Still great for the little time that they had on TV. Thunder Rosa ends up taking this via submission. However, she goes to the camera, she goes and says, this isn't over. Obviously talking to Deonna Purrazzo. And I'm just like, oh, okay. So we're going to get a little bit more between them. I'm actually looking forward to that. Still disappointed that their match was on the pre-show for Double or Nothing. I couldn't believe that. Now, after this, we do have the Cage of Agony. No longer the Gates of Agony. They are going against Danny Rose, Ricky G, and KM. KM is a big, tall dude. We've seen him these past few weeks in AEW, but the other two, they were just like probably shorter than me, and I'm really short. And I'm just like, holy moly, they are going to get killed in the ring. And let me just put it this way. Those poor guys, they were just thrown around like rag dolls. And it didn't, what was it, like 3 minutes or so? Probably not even 3 minutes. And the Cage of Agony won. What was weird, though, was on Rampage last night, Hechi Seto ended up joining their group. However, he was not in the match. What happened with that? I don't understand. Like, they literally said that he was part of the group and whatever, and that they were going to be wrestling together, but he wasn't here tonight. I don't know that. I think they think we forgot about that. We did not, Tony Khan, and we just didn't get that. I don't know what that was about. It was a little bit weird. However, I'm going to put it this way: these guys are not squash guys in terms of just because they're big, strong dudes doesn't mean that they should just be in the ring for 2 minutes at a time. They're really talented dudes who don't need to be having squash matches every time we see them. Let them do their thing in the ring so that they can have people to connect to. And it's just like, okay, 2 minutes in the ring. Who's going to want to see these guys if you do that every single time? Waste of time, in my opinion. After this, we have Johnny TV versus Claudio Castagnoli. They said they never had a match together, and I kept thinking about it. I'm just like, okay, that's interesting. Their paths have never crossed. Another great match. It was okay. When I tell you the quietness from this crowd was so distracting. For it to be so quiet but distracting at the same time is crazy. I was like, oh my god, I could hear Shivani just breathing. That's how quiet it is in that arena. I did not like that at all. You pay money to be here, but y'all act like y'all don't even want to be here. Have fun at these shows. I just don't get it. I don't get it at all. Anyway, Taya Valkyrie's ringside, and every time she's ringside with her man, she gets involved in a lot of distractions and whatnot. And it turned out to be some type of a comedy match, which I'm not bothered by. I really not. I just feel like Johnny, he is so talented. He really is. And there's no clear direction with him. We did have a clear direction with him in Ring of Honor when he had that whole thing with Dalton Castle, and it was a really fun feud. And it actually brought people over to watch Ring of Honor because they were having fun. Now, here we are where it's like, okay, the last time we saw Johnny on TV was him losing to Hook. Oh my God. Oh my God. Let me not get into it. But had a great match with Claudio Castagnoli. Ty Valkyrie keeps getting involved or whatnot. But does that help her husband take the win? No, it doesn't. He ends up losing to Claudio. Now, after this, we do have Shane Taylor, Lee Moriarty versus the West Coast Wrecking Crew. And I was so excited to see them on the show. And when I seen this, I was just like, okay, I can see the non-AEW guys being on the show, not taking the win. And I was just like, do my eyes deceive me? Are we going to see Shane Taylor Promotions actually win something? And surprise, surprise, they do. Now, I'm going to put it this way. West Coast Wrecking Crew obviously have the chemistry of a tag team. They've been a tag team for a long time. However, Shane Taylor, Lee Moriarty, they have tagged together, but the chemistry isn't there. They're a trios group because Anthony Ogogo, who's just standing outside the ring wearing that same outfit every single time, is there. And I feel like we need to get that group to be able to work together more so they can have better chemistry with each other, because at some point, despite me being happy that they finally won something, I want to see them win something with better chemistry. For them to go with a seasoned tag team like West Coast Wrecking Crew, the chemistry could have been much better between the two of them. But hey, a W is a W, and we're going to take it. Finally, Shane Taylor Promotions get a W. Holy moly, prayers work. Now on to a random ass moment of the night. The Iron Savages and Jack Jameson, they back there looking jacked, and they're cutting a promo, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't even know what the hell they're talking about, but I'm pretty sure basically they were getting at, being a trios and all that stuff. It didn't even really matter because we had a random attack by Killswitch. Killswitch attacked them, and I'm just like, oh, what the hell is this about? What? He ends up attacking them, and then obviously he growls at the camera when he's done. But you can see right before that, he has his mask. And remember, Swerve Strickland supposedly cut off his braid. And that braid was not even attached to his freaking scalp. It was attached to the freaking mask that he was wearing. Like, we wasn't going to see that. And he has wearing the mask, and you can see where the braid was and got cut up. Now it looks all mangled and shit. And I'm just laughing, and I'm just like, holy moly, what is this? What is this? All right, baby. Main event time. Will Ospreay, Kyle O'Reilly, Lord have mercy. I just watched this match again too, and I'm just like, oh my. Oh, first of all, we had 30 minutes left by the time that they had played the commercial before the main event. So we got like, I don't know, 25 minutes out of these two, something like that, around that, from the two of them. Oh my gosh. First of all, that's what I know and love Collision for, when they have those lengthy main events. I miss that. I really do. Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly. Lord, I tell you, when I see good wrestling, it turns me on. It really does. Kyle O'Reilly, since he's returned, he has not had a bad match. Not one. He has been absolutely on his P's and Q's, and everything has just been damn near perfect. Kyle O'Reilly didn't let Will Ospreay breathe in this match. And at times, I'm just looking at this and I'm just like, if Kyle O'Reilly wins the international title, like, who's going to be mad? At a performance like this, why would we be mad about this? Oh my gosh. He did such a great job. I have to say this, though. So I've been watching Will Ospreay for years now, and you get used to his style. People who are not so, who don't know too much about Will Ospreay, and they're finally getting to see him through AEW, they've complained about him not selling. And I'm so used to it where, in my opinion, how I would describe it is, not to make excuses for him, but this is how I sum it up. That Will Ospreay has this thing where it seems like he's not selling, and he's more on an adrenaline mode, where it's just like, instead of being like, oh, I'm hurt, let me lay down for a second, it's more of a, I'm hurt, let me get my ass up and do something about it right now. And he really does seem to be like that type of wrestler that feeds off adrenaline, rather than just than selling things that most people would. He's just always on the go, on the go, on the go, on the go. And for some people, they don't like that. And I totally understand, because it's not something that you typically see for most wrestlers. But in my opinion, I'm used to it with Will Ospreay, so I feel like it works, if anything. This match was great. This finally, we got the crowd alive again, and they were reacting. Like, they had no choice but to react to this, because this was so amazing. And man, wow, what can I say? I really do feel like Kyle O'Reilly, he can really use, I don't want to say character, but if he had more time to do promos or something where people can kind of get to know him a little bit more, he is so championship material. If he would have beaten Will Ospreay tonight, nobody would be mad about it, because he's so damn good in the ring. And he's been gone for almost 2 years with an injury, and he's returned, and I feel like, wow, he is killing it every single time. I absolutely enjoy him. Rampage last night, they put him in a squash match. Why? I have no clue. And when I look at what's his name, Kyle, I don't see a squash type of dude. He's so amazing. You guys already know Will Ospreay, he retains the title. But with all those arm bars and everything that he kept putting Will Ospreay in, at the end of the match, Will is calling for the doctors to come check on his arm and all that stuff. And by the end of it, they're hugging each other, they bow at each other and all that stuff. Everything's all good in the hood. But then, the very last minute or so, we get word from our champion, Swerve Strickland, which I absolutely love that they ended the show with us hearing from Swerve. So now, we hear from Swerve, and Swerve, I don't know where he's at, like some kind of museum or something. I don't know what it was. It was an interesting place wherever he was doing his promo. But he goes on and say, hey, I congratulate you for being number one contender for the title. And he says, I remember Forbidden Door, the last two Forbidden Doors, I was just on the pre-shows. Now I'm going to be main eventing the damn thing. And I'm just looking at it, I'm just like, this is growth. This is so much growth for our boy Swerve Strickland. Now, he is saying that despite him growing from doing pre-shows now going on to doing main event things, he does see that Will Ospreay has come on over and he's getting a lot of success on AEW, and this is his first time going to also main event a pay-per-view. Swerve has taken a few main events since he's been champion, but this is the first time for Will Ospreay. So now Will, Swerve, and Forbidden Door. But then, obviously, Roderick Strong wins his match against Leo Rush. So now Swerve has to face Roderick next Wednesday. Whoever wins that gets to face Will Ospreay at the pay-per-view. And I'm just like, this is so dumb. This is so dumb. Like, we already know what's going to happen. But I do see Roderick and Swerve having a really great match. These guys are so amazing. Can't wait to see what they do here. But honestly, like, who's going to believe that Roderick Strong is going to win? Nobody. But he's so good, though. He could beat Swerve, I think. But in terms of booking, it really wouldn't have made sense at all. Now, you guys, the show, hey, the first match, main event, absolutely worth the watch from top to bottom. Really, really good. Everything else in there was okay. I'm going to say, like, if you don't mind a quiet-ass crowd, it probably won't bother you. But for me, it was like the silence was loud, and I did not like that at all. Guys, thanks so much for watching my review. I will be back Tuesday with a review on Who Killed WCW, and then back to my regular scheduled programming from there. Guys, thanks so much for watching. See you guys then. Bye.